Good evening. Welcome to a Hand Up Recovery Home show. This evening we have Wilbert Cook and myself, Eric Stith, and coming up for the holidays.
Yeah.
Mental health is a tough time for people in recovery. People remember those days that just tough. Thanksgiving, Christmas.
And it's a festive time of year, and most of our quote normal people are enjoying their extra, beverages, their extra beers,
Family
their
and
extra
friends.
shots, family and friends. But unfortunately, when you're in recovery and or dealing with some of the mental health issues that are exacerbated by addiction, it can be a tough time to just say no, or just don't pick up, or it's the first one, not the last one, if you don't transition from the last one.
One of the good things that helped was making sure that I had friends with me sometimes, even when around family. So a lot of people suggest that if you're in recovery and you're going to be around those challenging people in those challenging situations, take somebody with you.
The other thing I always found very helpful in the recovery community is they usually have meetings, and some places have what we call alkathons, speakathons, and they're like prolonged meetings, sometimes 5-6 hours at a time. It used to be 12, sometimes 24 hours, because me and Eric helped participate in one of those, the Blazing Trail Alkathon.
For years.
And it would go on from
Decades.
Thanksgiving, the day before Thanksgiving, all the way
After
through
New
the
Year's.
first week of the new year, to help people get through the holiday, having some place to go at any time. They felt they were struggling with their recovery or needed a meeting because they were dealing with mental, emotional issues that come with changing their life and giving up those things that they use for a crutch, which is usually alcohol and drugs.
North Lawndale, Austin, our community is blessed with a couple of facilities like the West Section Club, the beautiful West Section Club. We've got HSI, we've got Above and Beyond. So Eric Crawford has a facility near Pulaski and what is that?
Roosevelt Road.
Roosevelt Road, right.
Right.
So there's a lot of options that people can go to facilities and Above and Beyond.
Right.
It's great
And
places.
if not, you just have to travel a little bit. I mean, you can get to
The Mustard Seed,
the Mustard
historic
Seed.
Mustard Seed, North Avenue.
Right. You can get to Mid-City. You can get to Grand and Pulaski, to the meetings there for the NA Fellowship.
1409 Pulaski.
1409, right. So there are a lot of places you can get to during the holiday season.
No attic in Cicero.
Right, and no attic in Cicero. Also, you have to be cognizant to try to make sure you have numbers of a sponsor, other people in the fellowship that you've met. Sometimes it helps too to stop by some of the local churches or periodically that's open, Catholic churches and others, and see if you can get a priest, like Saint Sabina.
Back to
I love that
basics.
they do a lot of meetings over there.
Prayer.
Yeah,
Prayer works.
Yep. So get you a prayer partner in and outside the program, to help you with your spiritual needs, not just religion. Sometimes we associate all prayer with religious life, but there are a lot of spiritual prayer warriors and a lot of people that believe in prayer and meditation that aren't all necessarily religious.
And like you said, those phone numbers, we
Right.
used to have to tape a quarter.
A quarter, yeah, right. You can't even
Keep a dime with us, right?
Yeah, right. When the last time you've seen a payphone
Cell
for
phones.
nostalgic purposes
Thank
on
God
the
for
wall?
cell phones.
Yes.
Technology, right?
Yeah, technology,
Text your friends if you have a problem.
Right,
Today.
and if you lose your cell phone, go to the nearest convenience store. It's usually someone out front willing to take your number, name, and some pertinent information and give you a tablet or another phone.
Yes.
So
Dollar store.
Right, dollar store, right.
Walgreens,
So
all
whatever,
that.
don't get caught if you're trying to change your life without a phone at your access. If you're anywhere and you're struggling with the decision whether you want to drink and or drug and or both.
The other thing is literature, reading. Reading a book. There's a lot of literature out there. And then you've got the basic literature.
Right. Yes. Yeah, you have a lot of basic literature. You have a lot of what we call Hazelden literature out there.
24-hour day book, the daily reflection.
And then you got a whole historical list of readings that have been created by the different fellowships.
Basic text, the big book.
Yes, and supplemental reading all over AA because it's history. Yes, pass it on.
Yes.
AA comes of age. There's a lot of good information out there to help keep you stimulated and on the road to recovery. And to also let you know, even when you feel alone, you're not alone.
And today you've got spiritual recovery groups like Celebrate Recovery. You've got Sexaholics Anonymous. You've got Gamblers Anonymous. You've got Alcoholics Anonymous.
I'll take this one. Overeaters Anonymous. Yeah, so there are so many anonymouses for anything you may be struggling with. And utilize those, because sometimes even with addiction, you don't realize the emotional toll sometimes to a few months down the road. But if you early on, Emotional Anonymous is not a bad place to park for an hour or two and meet people, greet people, and you'll find people in recovery as well as people outside of recovery. But one thing you will share in common is struggling with your emotions, especially around loved ones, family and friends, significant others. I struggle with that term because to me, all family and friends are significant. But it's a term usually associated with your partner, whichever partner you choose at that time moment,
No. Well, I was just thinking, know your triggers.
Triggers, right.
You got to know what's going to set you off, and have a plan,
Right.
a contingency plan, something to change that your thought pattern.
Right, and I think too, you have to. We can never undervalue or overvalue the importance of a phone, but most of all, using it, like the quarters back 30 years ago, 25 years ago, and subsequent times, making the call before, if all possible. Make the phone first. The toughest part is phoning afterwards and dealing with all the shame, regret, guilt that comes with that. Plus, it's a limit to what a person can help you with as far as maintaining your recovery. What they can often do is let you know that it does happen, and that you can immediately pick up weight and get started on a new trail of
Don't let that
recovery.
shame and guilt keep you out there days and weeks.
Or
get some help. The help is available.
And
they can call a
unfortunately,
hand-up recovery home.
sometimes shame and guilt kills more people after relapses than actually using itself initially, because it can start you on a spiral that can literally cost you your life. So just think about it, to actually, as we say, get off the pity pot and realize that you can start over just that quickly, just as quickly. Oftentimes we don't talk about it, but just as quickly as you relapse, if you don't get caught in the negative emotions that will take you further down that path, you can get started back on the road to recovery just that quickly.
The other thing with the holidays coming up, buzz driving, drunk driving, want to make sure that just the general public is aware that don't drink and drive.
The other thing is, for those who are caught up in especially the heroin use right now and many of the other pharmaceuticals, as well as cocaine and crack and all those derivatives of those, and amphetamines, that please consider your family right now. The most troubling thing me and Eric was talking about just before we came on air is to have to lose a loved one to a treatable disease during the holiday season. It ruins it for everyone. Your self-inflicted pain can destroy your family's holiday seasons for years to come, if not indefinitely. That's the toughest thing. Even by accident, we were also talking about fires, car accidents, other things that can take loved ones and destroy and hinder one's ability to enjoy holidays. But probably the toughest loss for any parent, any sister, brother, child, is to lose a loved one from addiction or alcoholism itself during the holiday season. So let's be mindful of each other and let's pick each other up and not put each other down during these holiday seasons.
Let's talk about the people that's grateful this holiday season.
Right. Yeah,
Thanksgiving. I mean,
yes.
Gratitude. The attitude of gratitude helps.
Right. It's interesting because we were talking about it just this past Sunday that sometimes we can get stuck reliving what went wrong and what's not right in a moment and forget to be grateful for all that is going well in spite of this struggle, that struggle, this situation, that situation. But the overall is so much better.
Thanking God for another Thanksgiving, another 365 days clean.
Yeah, so another holiday season. And I learned early on,
above ground,
to really
Thank
appreciate, it's a chance to focus on meditate. Inspirational. I would, grab you a new inspirational book, a new motivational book, things like that to help keep you uplifted during this season.
Talk about all the second chances. I mean, second chance to start all over again.
Second chance is another chance. Another chance. I'm glad life doesn't stop oftentimes with just a second chance. Because some of us need, we need a lot of chances, umpteen chances. We need a multitude of chances.
Just reminiscing on last week, State Representative LaShawn Ford was talking about that ban the box legislation that he got passed. All the current stuff that he's working on with daycares and the legislative agenda coming up in the new year is going to be awesome.
Right. Well, actually, he's down probably working on veto session in Springfield, which he mentioned last week, trying to help get some things that's not quite right or working for the communities of Illinois out of the budget or adjusted, and then also correcting for some of these organizations, agencies that are due some of the new funding and future funding. They're trying to find out where that might be in that budget to add them or correct information to make sure that the agencies they want to help all of the people of Illinois get what is directed toward them. Because unfortunately, a mistake in the name of an organization could hinder them receiving their state funds like they're supposed to or being able to utilize them when they allocate it and the name wrong. You cannot utilize that funding until the name is corrected. So he mentioned that, and it's our state senator is down there, Lakeisha Collins, who hopefully will get on in the future, working on legislation and fighting to make sure there's parity. She's not only trying to make sure she takes care of all those mistakes, which she's talked about for several years as a representative before she became a senator, but she also is fighting to make sure there's parity among the Black, brown, communities of Chicago. The Latinos and African Americans get their fair share of funding to help uplift these communities, especially because many of them are suffering with a few more ills that come with poverty and systemic poverty that has persisted in some of our communities, not through the fault of the people who are working class people, but through the systems that don't always advance us some of the better jobs or advance us along jobs. And she's fighting for them unions to have better representation, but she's also fighting to create jobs in our communities. So it's great to know that we have advocates like that from the West Side. And then I just was talking to somebody on the elevator yesterday that, our commissioners, County Commissioner Tony Pretwinkle, Commissioner Tyra Stamps, Commissioner Michael Scott, Commissioner Steve, I forgot the name, but then Anayo from over replaced Chuy Garcia, who's our other congressperson from Little Village and Humboldt Park area and some of the western suburbs, because they got a moving, shifting, special district. But anyway, they have a
gerrymander district,
right? Congressional district, because for years they didn't have one, but. And they are fighting, but Anaya and all those commissioners, 17-0 passed a budget for Cook County. So we will see funding all over the city of Chicago being identified, more funding for mental health, substance abuse, gun violence reduction, just to highlight a few that we talk about regular on this show that will be impacted by that balanced budget, and that they will be getting out to our communities going into the new year, some new funding. And they're trying to use up all that HARPA money, because if it's not allocated by December 31st, I believe, it goes back to the Central Treasury, and Trump has the final word. I mean, the U.S. Treasury, but that's Trump. But anyway, going into the future.
Give a Hand Up Recovery Home's email address and telephone number.
Email address we currently use on the regular is WeCook, WECOOK 3289 @yahoo.com. And the best number to reach us at is 773-213-0802, and or at our old number 773-638-5283, and that will be forwarded to to our main number.
Some people in the audience might know of men or women that are struggling with alcohol and drug addiction. Give us a call. We can help get them in treatment. We can help get them in detox.
Thursday night meeting.
Whether they want to go into, but if they really suffering with a problem, get them to their nearest emergency room so they can help them.
Right, or take them to if they're dealing with things like opioid addiction, you probably want to take them to the emergency room first so that they can make sure that they
stabilized.
Or if it's a serious alcohol problem, because you don't want to get the treatment, go through DDTs, what they call it, which is, and it can really it can be deadly. So we want them to get stabilized, because also when they stop immediately, even in a 10, 12 hour, 24 hour period, their blood pressures, when they're on opioids that depress your system, you have a bounce back effect. So when alcohol depresses your system, it keeps you feeling low, somewhat drunk and sleepy like. But when you're off the alcohol, your blood pressure can jump, which can cause problems if it's not stabilized. And even oftentimes they have to take people immediately up out of treatment if their blood pressure go up. Sometimes they don't know, other issues arise that cause them to have to go to the hospital in emergency situations. And same with opioids, heroin, things of that nature, and those kind of pharmaceutical drugs. And then amphetamines, you get the opposite. You sometimes need to be stabilized because you go into depression when you on amphetamines, cocaine, all that, and you super high.
Highs and low lows.
Then you plummet, and it's hard sometimes for people to deal with. So it never hurts to go to the hospital first and let them stabilize you in your recovery, then get you into a recovery program. Plus, they can get you they have a bigger network to help you get into one immediately whenever possible. Catch Citizens Activated to Change Healthcare, that referendum that organization that Congressman Davis put together in order to help people. And me and Eric and many others worked on getting the referendum approved so it could make the county ballot, and 76% of them voted that we should have treatment on demand.
300,000 signatures.
Right, which is one of our projects. But unfortunately, we still do not have treatment on demand most of the time when many alcoholics, drug addicts try to get in treatment centers, because there's usually not enough beds for the number of people that can need it at any given moment. And sadly, more and more you're hearing about it in tragic circumstances with mental illness. There's not enough beds when people with sometimes severe mental illnesses need help to be stabilized. And oftentimes they get away from their medication, either by choice or by accident, forgetfulness. The problem is with certain moderate or serious mental health issues, that can be dangerous for them. And so if they don't get medical attention, also they end up in deadly medical crisis. And as we say, this is the holiday season. We want to bring joy and more joy. And the best thing is to help keep each other alive and well.
You mentioned the Hand Up Recovery Home recovery meeting every Thursday from 5 to 6 at 4032
West Van Buren,
our headquarters.
the greater west side of the city. A few feet from the Heroin Highway, we have helped save lives for over 20 years.
Yes.
In the midst of the storm. And now, actually, it's pretty settled over there. One of the nicest blocks to visit now. But we remember when, it was dangerous. But you also knew you had
the
a
Blue Line
commitment to
Plastic
recovery.
spot.
Yeah, Blue Line. Man, the other day I was disappointed. I came in from downtown and saw all those people in front of the train station door. When I got off work, I was like, whoa, is this the holiday good or bad crowd? Or is it just the hustling crowd? Which either one is bad. But this one guy, he almost nodded right into me, Eric. And I was like, that recovery's possible. He's like, oh. But anyway, I did tell him recovery's possible.
Thank God for the Chicago Food Depository. Turkeys
yes,
everywhere.
Turkeys everywhere. Speaking of that, 1448 South Holman. There will be a turkey giveaway at 1 o'clock tomorrow. So if you're in that area, stop by the local food pantry.
Christian Valley Church?
Character Cincinnati AME Church.
Church.
Right.
Okay.
So the food depository has supplied plenty of turkeys. I think I heard 50 plus turkeys, or is it 75? It might even be more than that. But they're the first come, first serve will get a whole turkey along with all the trimmings as well as other foods, beans, rice, macaroni, eggs. If they probably got some chicken and some fish. They have plenty to help you get through this holiday week with a meal and even a holiday meal at that. Eric, anything else? No.
The first Thanksgiving.
Any speakathons we know of already on the agenda for this weekend, next weekend? You can't
Mustard Seed, Suburban Fellowship in Forest Park, West Section Club.
But Wicker Park Group.
Cicero.
Right at Rockwell and North Avenue. Meetings, 9 a.m. Is it 1 p.m. or noon?
Rockwell North.
Daily. Rockwell North. Okay. So it's meetings all around town. You can go also. You can Google AA meetings if you prefer those. NA meetings if you prefer those.
Chicago,
CA meetings if you prefer those.
They could just put in their browser chicagoaa.org. You'll come up with meeting schedules all over the city. 24. There's 5,000 meetings, just AA alone. So you've got NACA, you've got recovery groups.
Right. And
you got winter circle groups.
You got Zoom groups. You can go if you want to go to California and catch a Zoom. If you want to be in our state.
On your cell phone, you can.
Right. You can, a meeting is a phone call away, whether it's Zoom if you have it, other apps you have it. So even if you don't get a phone number, you can go Google and get Zoom meetings all over the country, and you can go international if you just want a new experience and to share your recovery or something you're struggling with some guilt or shame that you're not sure you want to tell anybody locally or that in recovery. You can cast it out across the world.
Don't spend the holidays alone. Get out in the community and go to a meeting.
Recovery is at your fingertips literally today. You do have to make a decision, though, and that's sometimes tough. Right, readily available.
Choice is yours.
There are hotline numbers if you need to talk to somebody. There are mental health hotline numbers. There are sex abuse hotline numbers that cause a lot of mental health illnesses. But there's a lot of recovery hotlines. Each fellowship has their own hotline, and then so you have options.
Call your local hospitals. They know. They can get you the numbers you need. Or call 311.
We want you to stay safe, stay alive. We want you to enjoy your family time. We want you to feel more part of a family. And if you're struggling with your biological family, there's a recovery family available to you that's millions strong, tens of millions.
All over the world.
And there's millions of meetings even across the world. So we look forward to helping you on the happy road of destiny.
Enjoy the holidays, everybody.
Have a wonderful time. It's been a plum pleasing pleasure. And my motivational mentor, Les
Can't say
Brown.
ho, ho, ho yet.
yes, but we can say gobble, gobble.
Have a great holiday, everybody.
Yeah, everyone, please enjoy safely.